The doors of the great hall opened and Hana walked inside. She was small. She was thin. She had no claws, no fangs, no armor on her skin. 200 alien students turned their heads to look at her. Some had scales. Some had shells. Some had teeth as long as her fingers. All of them were predators from the deadliest worlds in the galaxy, and all of them were staring at the tiny human girl who had just entered their class. Professor stood at the front of the room. He was tall and thin, with 6 legs and eyes like black glass. He looked at his tablet and then at Hana. His voice was cold and bored when he spoke. "This is our new student, a human from Earth. Her world is listed as a, but many scientists do not agree with this. Please take a seat." Hana bowed her head slightly and walked toward the back of the room. She could hear the whispers around her. She could feel the eyes on her back, but her face showed nothing. She simply walked, found an empty seat in the last row, and sat down. The seats around her stayed empty. No one wanted to sit near her. A deep laugh came from the middle of the room. Hana looked and saw a massive creature. He was almost 3 meters tall. His body was covered in thick armor plates the color of dark stone. His arms were as thick as tree trunks, and his hands ended in claws that could tear metal. His name was, and he was a. They were known across the galaxy as perfect killing machines. They came from a world of endless war, where only the strongest survived. Turned in his seat to look at Hana. His mouth opened to show rows of sharp teeth. "Look at this," he said loudly. "They sent us a snack." The other students laughed. Some of the other aliens joined them. Hana did not react. She simply took out her tablet and began to read the class materials. Professor continued his lecture. He talked about survival strategies on high-gravity worlds. He talked about hunting techniques used by different predator species. Hana listened carefully and took notes. She noticed that kept turning to look at her. Each time, his eyes were filled with more contempt. When the class ended, Hana gathered her things and walked toward the door. She moved calmly, without hurry, but before she could reach the exit, a massive shadow fell over her. Stood in front of her. His 4 packmates stood behind him, blocking the corridor. Each of them was bigger than any human Hana had ever seen. Their armor plates clicked as they moved. Their claws scratched against the floor. "Little human," said. He leaned down until his face was close to hers. His breath was hot and smelled like copper. "I think you are lost. This class is for predators, for hunters, for creatures that kill to survive." Hana looked up at him. Her heart was beating fast, but her face was calm. "I am in the right place," she said. Her voice was quiet but clear. Laughed again. It was not a nice sound. You are soft, you are slow, you have no weapons on your body. What could you possibly hunt?" "Many things," Hana said simply. They stopped laughing. They looked at each other, confused. No prey had ever talked back to them like this. Leaned even closer. "I could kill you right now," he growled. "I could break you in half with one hand. Your bones would snap like dry sticks." Hana did not step back. She did not look away. She looked directly into his eyes and smiled. "You could try," she said. For a moment something flickered in his eyes. It was not fear exactly. It was confusion. This tiny creature should be shaking. She should be begging. She should be running. But she just stood there looking at him like he was not a threat at all. One of the other growled, "Let me crush her, teach her respect." Held up his hand. He was still staring at Hana, trying to understand what he was seeing. Finally, he stepped back. "Tomorrow we have practical exercises," he said. "Combat demonstrations. I want to see what a human can do when there is nowhere to run." He showed his teeth again. "I hope you are not too fragile, little prey. Medical can fix most things these days, but not everything." Hana walked past him without another word. She did not run. She did not hurry. She walked like she was taking a calm stroll through a garden. When she was gone, one of them turned to. "Why did you let her go? She insulted you." Was quiet for a moment. He was thinking about her eyes. There was something in them that he did not understand. something that did not match her soft body and her small size. "She will be at the combat demonstration tomorrow," said finally. "I will break her there in front of everyone. Let the whole academy see what happens to prey that forgets its place." But as he walked away, could not shake a strange feeling. For just a moment, when Hana had looked at him and smiled, he had felt something he had not felt since he was a small child on his. He had felt like he was being watched by something dangerous. He pushed the thought away. She was just a human, a soft, weak, clawless human. What could she possibly do to him? He would find out tomorrow. The combat arena was the largest room in the academy. It was round like a bowl, with seats rising up on all sides. In the center was a flat fighting area made of hard white stone. The stone had dark stains on it, old blood from old fights. 200 students sat in the seats, watching and waiting. Today was demonstration day. Each student would show their species' natural weapons, their claws, their venom, their strength. The professors would grade them on their killing power. Hana sat alone in the back wearing simple training clothes. She had no armor, no weapons, just cloth in her own body. One by one, students went to the center ring. A named smashed a metal block with his fists. The crowd cheered. A named showed her venom glands, spraying poison that melted through steel. More cheers. A moved so fast he seemed to disappear and reappear across the ring. The crowd went wild. Then Professor looked at his tablet and called out, "Human Hana, please demonstrate your species' primary survival ability." The arena went quiet, then the laughter started. Hana stood up and walked down to the fighting ring. Her footsteps were the only sound. Every eye in the room watched her. Most were amused, some were curious. A few, like the looked worried. Hana stepped into the center of the ring and stood still. She looked small. She looked fragile. She looked like she had walked into the wrong room. "Well," Professor asked, "what will you demonstrate? Speed, strength, natural weapons?" Before Hana could answer, a loud voice cut through the air. Professor stood up in his seat. His armor plates gleamed under the arena lights. "I request a challenge demonstration." The crowd gasped. Challenge demonstrations were rare. They were dangerous. 2 students would fight, and the fight would only end when one could not continue. Professor's compound eyes flickered with concern. A challenge demonstration requires both parties to agree. "Student Hana, you may decline. There is no shame in." "I accept," Hana said. Her voice was calm, quiet, like she had agreed to a game of cards instead of a fight with a creature 3 times her size. The arena fell completely silent. Walked down to the ring, each step making the floor shake slightly. He rolled his shoulders. His claws extended with sharp clicking sounds. His eyes never left Hana. "I will try not to kill you," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "But accidents happen. I hope you have said goodbye to your family." Hana did not respond. She shifted her weight slightly. Her hands stayed loose at her sides. Her eyes watched like he was the only thing in the universe. Professor raised one thin arm. "The challenge begins on my signal. Fight until one cannot continue." He paused. "Begin." Attacked. He moved faster than anything his size should move. 300 kilograms of armor and muscle shot forward like a missile. His clawed hand swept toward Hana's throat. This was his killing blow. This strike had torn apart creatures much bigger than her. Hana moved. She did not move back. She moved forward and to the side. Her body twisted in a way that seemed almost impossible. Her hands caught his arm as it passed her. She used his own speed against him. She turned with him. She guided his arm. Then she struck. Her palm hit the inside of his elbow. It hit the exact spot where his armor plates met. The one small gap in his natural protection. The one weak point that every protected without thinking. The sound was terrible. A wet crack echoed through the arena. Bone breaking, armor splitting, screamed. He had never screamed in his life. He fell to his knees, his arm hanging at a wrong angle. Green blood dripped onto the white stone. Hana released him and stepped back. She was not breathing hard. She was not sweating. She looked exactly the same as before the fight started. The arena was frozen. No one moved. No one breathed. 200 apex predators stared at the small human girl and the massive crying at her feet. Hana looked up at them. She looked at every face in the crowd, every predator, every killer, every creature that had laughed at her yesterday. Then she spoke. Next. Her voice was not loud, but in the silence it carried to every corner of the arena. No one answered. No one moved. Packmates did not come to challenge her. The with their super speed did not step forward. The with their deadly venom stayed in their seats. Every single predator in that room looked at Hana and saw something that made them afraid. Professor finally broke the silence. Medical team to the arena, now. As the medical team rushed to help, Hana walked out of the ring. She walked up the stairs. She walked past 200 silent students. She walked out of the arena without looking back. Behind her, the whispers started. How did she know where to hit? Did you see how fast she moved? She's not even hurt, not even tired. What is she? In the medical wing, lay on a bed while doctors worked on his arm. His packmates stood around him. None of them spoke. They were all thinking the same thing. They had thought Hana was prey. They had been wrong. The day after the fight, everything changed. Hana walked through the academy halls and noticed something different. Before, aliens had looked at her with contempt. They had laughed. They had whispered insults. Now they stepped aside when she passed. They lowered their eyes. They moved out of her way like water flowing around a stone. She was eating alone in the food hall when approached. They was tall and thin, with smooth blue skin and large black eyes. Her venom glands were pulled back tight against her neck, a sign of peace among her people. May I sit? Asked. Hana nodded. Sat down across from her. For a moment she just stared at the human with obvious curiosity. Then she spoke. I have studied many predators in my life. I have never seen anything like what you did yesterday. How is it possible? You have no claws, no armor, no venom. How did you defeat? Hana finished chewing her food before answering. On my world, humans are not the strongest creatures. We are not the fastest. We cannot fly. We cannot breathe underwater. We have no natural weapons. Then how do you survive? Hana tapped her head. We think. We learn. We watch our enemies and find their weak points. Then we practice hitting those weak points until we never miss. Practice seemed confused. You mean this is something you learn? It is not natural ability. Nothing about humans is natural ability, Hana said. Everything we do, we learned. The technique I used on, my people developed it over thousands of years. We call these techniques martial arts. They are designed for one purpose, to let a small, weak person defeat a large, strong enemy. His eyes went wide. Thousands of years. Your species spent thousands of years learning to kill things stronger than you. To survive things stronger than you, Hana corrected gently. There is a difference. Word of their conversation spread quickly. That night, students across the academy began searching their databases for information about Earth, about humans, about the strange, soft creatures that had apparently conquered without any natural weapons. What they found kept them awake all night. Earth was not a borderline. Earth was a nightmare. The planet had massive predators with teeth and claws. It had tiny insects with venom that could kill in minutes. It had diseases that changed and evolved constantly, always finding new ways to attack. It had natural disasters that destroyed entire regions. Earthquakes, floods, fires, storms. And humans had survived all of it, not by running away, not by hiding, by fighting back. They found images of human history. Ancient humans hunting animals 10 times their size with nothing but sharp sticks. Humans building walls and castles to protect themselves. Humans creating weapons that could kill from great distances. Humans developing medicines that could cure the diseases that once killed millions. But the most frightening thing was not what humans did to other creatures. It was what they did to each other. The students found records of human wars, conflicts that lasted for years, weapons that could destroy entire cities, strategies and tactics developed over countless generations. Humans were not just predators. They were predators who had spent their entire existence fighting other predators exactly like themselves. By morning, the entire academy was talking about humans. Professor called an emergency meeting of the faculty. When he entered the meeting room, every professor was already there. They all had the same look on their faces: fear. "I have reviewed the data on Earth," said, his voice shaking slightly. "I believe I owe student Hana an apology. I called her world a borderline. I was wrong. Earth is one of the most dangerous planets ever recorded." A professor from the biology department spoke up. "Their immune systems are remarkable. They can survive infections that would kill most species. Their bodies can heal from injuries that should be fatal. And their endurance," he shook his head. "They can run for entire days without stopping. They hunt by simply following their prey until it collapses from exhaustion." "Persistence predators," another professor said quietly. "I thought they were just a myth." "They are real," said, "and we have one in our school. The question is, what do we do about it?" There was silence in the room. Finally, the oldest professor spoke. She was a massive creature with a shell like ancient stone and eyes that had seen centuries. "We do nothing," she said. "We teach her like any other student. We treat her with respect. And we hope that humans decide they want to be our friends." "Why?" asked. The old professor looked at him with something like pity. "Because I have read about human history. I have seen what they do to species they consider enemies." She paused. "I have also seen what they do for species they consider friends. They protect them. They defend them. They share their technology and their knowledge. Humans are loyal to those they care about." She stood up slowly, her ancient joints creaking. "The human girl broke his arm without effort. She could have killed him. She chose not to. I think that tells us something important about what kind of friends humans could be." She walked toward the door. "I suggest we make sure they become our friends. The alternative is not something I want to consider." The meeting ended in silence. In her room that night, Hana received a message on her tablet. It was from Earth, from her commanders. "Report received. Continue observation. Do not reveal full capabilities unless necessary." Hana smiled and deleted the message. They had no idea how much she had been holding back. 3 days passed. Returned from the medical wing with a new arm. The doctors had it completely, bone and muscle and armor, but something else had not healed. His pride was still broken. He found Hana in the academy library. She was sitting alone at a table, reading something on her tablet. When she saw him coming, she did not run. She did not call for help. She simply looked up and waited. Stopped a few meters away. He did not come closer. His new arm hung at his side and he kept touching it without thinking, checking that it was still there. "You knew," he said. His voice was quiet, not angry, just tired. "You knew exactly where to hit me. You knew my weak point before we even fought." Hana nodded, "Yes." "How? The gap between our armor plates is small. Even most do not know exactly where it is." Hana turned her tablet around so could see the screen. It showed detailed diagrams of anatomy, bones, muscles, armor plates. Every weak point was marked in red. "I downloaded this information on my first day here," Hana said. "I studied it that night. I practiced the strike 200 times before I went to sleep. By the time you challenged me, I had already won. I just had to show up." Stared at the screen. His mouth opened but no words came out. "This is what humans do," Hana continued. We study our enemies, we find their weaknesses, we practice until we cannot fail, then we win. But why? Asked. Why would you need to do this? You are not at war with us. Hana was quiet for a moment, then she spoke. On Earth everything wanted to kill us. Lions, wolves, bears, snakes, insects, diseases, even the weather tried to kill us. We had no claws to fight back, no armor to protect us, no venom to defend ourselves, so we had to become something different. She stood up and walked to the window. Outside, alien stars filled the sky. We became the creatures that never gave up, the ones that would follow their prey for days, the ones that would get up after being knocked down again and again until the thing that knocked us down was too tired to continue. She turned back to, "Do you know what a human's greatest weapon is?" Shook his head. "Spite," Hana said, "pure, unrelenting spite. The universe tried to kill us for 200,000 years. We took it personally." Something in her voice made scales rise. A chill ran down his back. The instinct was old and deep, the instinct that told prey to run. But he was not prey, he was a predator. Except now, standing in front of this small human female, he was not so sure anymore. "I could have killed you in the arena," Hana said calmly. "The same strike that broke your arm could have crushed your throat. I chose not to." "Why?" The word came out as a whisper. Hana smiled. It was a gentle smile, but noticed something he had never noticed before. When humans smiled, they showed their teeth, just like predators did before they attacked. "Because I am not here to make enemies," Hana said. "I am here to learn, to study, to see if the galaxy's greatest predators can accept humans as equals." She paused. "Or if they will always see us as prey." Was silent for a long time. He thought about his whole life. He had always been the strongest, the most dangerous. He had never met anything that could hurt him. Until now. "What happens if we see you as prey?" he asked finally. Hana's smile did not change, but her eyes grew cold. "Then humans will do what we have always done. We will study you. We will learn your weaknesses. We will create weapons to fight you. And we will keep fighting until one of us is gone." She stepped closer to. She had to look up to meet his eyes, but somehow she did not seem small. "Humans do not lose wars. We either win or we keep fighting until we do. There is no other option. There is no surrender. There is no giving up." "That is insane," said. "Yes," Hana agreed. "It is. But it is also why we are still alive. Every species that tried to destroy us is either extinct or exists only because we allow it. Every predator, every disease, every disaster, we survived them all. And we did it with nothing but soft skin and clever minds." She walked back to her table and picked up her tablet. "Your people are strong, your claws are sharp, your armor is thick, but my people have killed things far more dangerous than we have killed things that make your species look like children." She sat down and returned to her reading. "I am not telling you this to threaten you. I am telling you this so you understand. When a human offers friendship, it is not because we are weak. It is because we choose peace, and that choice can change at any time." Stood there for a long time. His new arm felt strange. The arm that Hana had broken with a single precise strike. The arm that reminded him that he was not invincible. Finally he spoke. "I understand," he said. Hana looked up. "Good," her voice softened. "Then maybe we can start over, not as predator and prey, not as enemies, just as two students in the same class." She held out her hand, a human greeting new, he had read about it. He looked at her hand, small, soft, no claws. "Dangerous." Slowly, carefully, he reached out and took it. "I think I would like that," he said. Hana smiled again, and this time when saw her teeth, he did not feel afraid. He felt hope. The semester passed quickly after that day in the library. Hana no longer sat in the back of the classroom. She sat in the front row now, surrounded by students who had once laughed at her, sat 3 seats away, not because he was afraid of her anymore, but because He had become her friend. He saved her seat every morning. He defended her when other students from different classes made comments about humans. Things changed in the academy. Professor rewrote his entire teaching plan. He created a new class called Human Adaptation Strategies. It became the most popular class in the school. Students from every species wanted to learn how humans survived on their deadly world. Hana became a guest teacher. She showed them things that amazed them. She showed them how to make fire using nothing but sticks and dry grass. The students watched in shock as flames appeared from nowhere. Humans mastered fire over 1 million years ago, Hana explained. We used it to cook food, to stay warm, to scare away predators. We carried it with us wherever we went. We turned the most dangerous force of nature into our tool. She showed them how to track animals by looking at broken branches and footprints in the dirt. She showed them how to find water in a desert by watching where birds flew. She showed them how to build a shelter from leaves and branches that could keep out rain and cold. But the lessons that drew the biggest crowds were her combat classes. Hana taught self-defense to anyone who wanted to learn. At first, only the smaller species came, the ones who had always been afraid of the larger predators. But soon, even the started attending. This technique is called a joint lock, Hana said one day, demonstrating on a volunteer. It uses your enemy's own strength against them. The harder they push, the more pain they feel. Watched from the side of the room, he rubbed his arm without thinking. He knew exactly how effective that technique was. After class, approached Hana with a question that had been bothering her for months. Hana said, "You are clearly trained for combat. Your reflexes, your knowledge, the way you move. You are not just a regular human. What were you before you came to the academy?" Hana was quiet for a moment. Then she pulled back her sleeve and showed a small mark on her wrist. It was a simple symbol that did not recognize. On Earth, there are humans whose job is to go into the most dangerous places in the galaxy, Hana said. Places that even other humans fear. They rescue people. They protect people. They do the jobs that no one else can do. I was one of them for 12 years. His eyes went wide. A soldier. Something like that. Why did you stop? Hana's smile turned sad. I did not stop. I was sent here. Sent by who? Earth's government. They wanted to know how the galaxy would react to us, whether other species would see us as prey or as equals, whether we could make friends or if we would have to make enemies. She looked around the training room. Dozens of alien species were practicing the techniques she had taught them and working together, and others helping each other improve. Species that had been enemies for centuries were now learning side by side. I think we have our answer, Hana said softly. Walked over and heard the end of their conversation. His massive shadow fell over both of them, but neither Hana nor flinched anymore. So you were a test, rumbled. You came here to see if we would treat you like prey. Partly, Hana admitted. Also to see if we could find friends. Earth is small. We are new to the galaxy. We cannot survive alone. Made a deep sound in his chest. Among it was a sound of respect. You came to a school full of the deadliest predators in the galaxy. You let us mock you. You let us threaten you. Then you broke my arm in front of everyone and asked if anyone else wanted to try. He shook his head slowly. That takes courage I did not think soft creatures could have. He extended his arm, the one Hana had shattered months ago. Among this gesture meant trust. It meant offering your weakness to another. I have fought many enemies in my life, said. I have never had many friends. Do not make friends easily, but I think, he paused, searching for words. I think I would like to try with you. Hana reached up and clasped his arm with both hands. I would like that too, she said. Watched them with her large dark eyes. Then she extended her own arm in the gesture of friendship. My people have always been afraid, said. We have venom, but we are not strong. Larger species have hunted us for generations, but watching you, Hana, I learned something. Size does not matter, strength does not matter. What matters is here. She touched her head. And here, she touched her chest. Will you teach me? Will you teach my people? Hana smiled. I will teach anyone who wants to learn. On the last day of the semester, Hana sent a message back to Earth. It was simple and short. First contact successful. Humans are no longer seen as prey. We have made friends. Recommend continued exchange programs. The galaxy is ready to meet us. She attached a picture to the message. It showed Hana standing in the center of the combat arena. Around her stood 200 aliens, and dozens of other species. All of them were smiling, while showing their teeth. Hana had taught them that. Back on Earth, her commanders received the message and looked at the picture for a long time. Then the head of the program laughed. She went to a school full of monsters and made them her friends, he said. That is the most human thing I have ever seen. He approved the next phase of the program. More humans would be sent to the academy. More exchanges would happen. More friendships would form. And somewhere in the galaxy, Hana looked up at the alien stars and smiled. The universe had tried to kill humanity for 200,000 years. Now humanity was making friends with it instead. That was the human way. Fight what needs to be fought, love what deserves to be loved, and never ever give up. Not even on the galaxy itself.